Welcome to the Broadway.com show, your weekly guide to everything on stage and off. I'm Beth Stevens.
And I'm Ryan Lee Gilbert. This week, we hit the red carpet on opening night of Frozen, chat with the stars of the Encores production of Grand Hotel, and more.
And later, Broadway's Chilina Kennedy graces us with a Carole King classic from the hit musical Beautiful. But first, let's get started with the news. What's the buzz, Ryan?
Cynthia Nixon, a Tony winner for her performances in Rabbit Hole and last year's The Little Foxes, officially announced her candidacy for the forthcoming New York governor's race, challenging current Governor Andrew Cuomo in the Democratic primary. Nixon, who also won an Emmy for her role as Miranda Hobbs in the seminal HBO series Sex and the City, posted her official announcement to Twitter, along with a video and a link to donate to her campaign. Rumors of Nixon's campaign for governor started last year as she continued to voice her long-standing activism for education and the LGBTQ community. If elected, Nixon would become the first female governor of the Empire State.
You know, there's a surefire way Cynthia can lock down my vote.
Can I guess? If she agrees to perform her role as Madam Governor in rotating rep with Laura Linney.
Yes, but I don't think that's going to happen. Sam Shepard's True West is coming back to Broadway with stage and screen stars Ethan Hawke and Paul Dano leading the drama. The story centers on two brothers holed up in their mother's California home. Combative Lee, portrayed by Hawke, and screenwriter Austin, played by Dano, discover they have much more in common than they think. James McDonald will direct the revival, which is slated to begin previews on December 27th at the American Airlines Theater, with opening night set for January 24th, 2019.
When was the last time True West was on Broadway?
Oh, it was in 2000, and it starred John C. Reilly and Philip Seymour Hoffman, and they swapped roles every performance. Wouldn't it be amazing if Ethan Hawke and Paul Dano did that?
I don't think that's going to happen. Christian Borle and Laura Michelle Kelly will co-star in Me and My Girl, the final production of Encore's At 25 season at New York City Center. The show, which played Broadway's Marquee Theater from 1986 to 1989, follows an unrefined Cockney gentleman who learns that he's the 14th heir to the Earl of Hereford and wreaks havoc on high society, but risks losing his girl. Directed and choreographed by Warren Carlyle, Me and My Girl will run May 9th through the 13th. Plus, Borle will reunite with his thoroughly modern Millie co-star and ex-wife Sutton Foster when he guest stars in the upcoming 5th season of Younger. Borle will play a journalist who charms Foster's Liza over a 2-episode arc beginning in the 4th episode of the new season, which premieres June 5th on TV Land.
Get ready for 3 new cast albums to add to your collection. NBC's Jesus Christ Superstar Live in Concert, which airs on April 1st, and stars John Legend, Sara Bareilles, and Brandon Victor Dixon, will be released digitally on April 6th. Also in the works, the new Broadway musical Mean Girls will release a cast album on May 18th. While that's totally fetch, you can satisfy your curiosity about the new revival of My Fair Lady, starring Lauren Ambrose and Harry Haddon Payton, when their album drops on June 8th.
That is the first time anyone has used album drops for a My Fair Lady cast album.
Are you impressed?
So impressed. Speaking of Jesus Christ Superstars Sara Bareilles, the composer and recent star of the hit Broadway musical Waitress has eyes on starring in Duncan Sheik's previously reported stage adaptation of Alice in Wonderland, which will premiere at Off-Broadway's MCC Theater next year. Waitress book writer Jesse Nelson and Sheik's Spring Awakening co-writer Stephen Sater are also at work on the new musical. In an exclusive statement to Broadway.com, Bareilles said she's a huge fan of all the artists involved in the project and hopes that her schedule will allow her to perform in the new musical as things evolve. MCC Theater and Kurt Deutsch workshopped an early version of the musical titled Alice by Heart in December 2015. The show will run at the Newman Mills Theater from January 30th through March 10th, 2019.
Bruce Springsteen is proving he's born to run. His hit Broadway concert engagement has been extended for a 3rd time. Combining songs from the 20-time Grammy winner and excerpts from his memoir, The Hot Ticket will now play at the Walter Kerr Theater through December 15th. Springsteen began performances on October 3rd, 2017, and was originally announced to run through November 26th. Extending his time on the Great White Way for just over a month to over a year, we think it's safe to say the boss has officially become a Broadway baby.
When we come back, we get a glimpse behind the lens at Once on This Island's incredible ensemble, learn about the off-Broadway production of The Stone Witch, and more.
This week on Broadway.com, Dear Evan Hansen's Taylor Trench kicks off the new season of Show People. Fresh-faced Nathan Stewart Jarrett shares what it's like to be making his Broadway debut in Angels in America, and more.
First things first, you need to get a ticket to Travesties. Tom Stoppard's London Smash is Broadway's newest must-see. This wild ride of a comedy has it all. Art, love, revolution, and the Tony Award for Best Play. Don't miss Travesties.
Hi, I'm Sutton Foster. and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Welcome back. Frozen officially opened on Broadway this week. We hit the red carpet to chat with stars Caissie, Levy, Patti, Murin, and the cast of the Disney musical about transforming the blockbuster animated movie into one hot Broadway ticket.
It's got a kind of extraordinary central message that's about selfless people.
With authors like this, you know, Jen Lee and also Bobby and Kristen Lopez writing the music, I think it would be successful anywhere because they put so much thought and care into telling this story and creating these characters and these relationships.
I know that we worked very, very hard to take this story that we knew resonated with people and make it theatrical and use music to tell that theatrical story.
We love to dive into the DNA of the movie songs and use it to make new songs, and I mean that was one of the most fun parts for me.
The new music is stellar. The plot tweaks that we've added in, I think, expand the depth of the show and make the characters' journeys matter more, and it's moving people, and that's all you can really ask for, you know?
The cast and creative team revealed how the stage version differs from the movie.
Well, I get to wear pants. I mean, there's so much more than the pants, but the pants are pretty spectacular, and they were like a late game changer moment.
Because of the themes that are so universal, you know, family reuniting and people trying to control themselves, and I think it speaks to a lot of people, and I feel like it was always a musical.
What's great is that you get actually soliloquies for each character. Anna gets true love, Kristoff gets the lullaby, you know, Hans gets Hans of the Southern Isles, so you get pulled into these characters so much more, and you care about them so much more because of that.
I think we just see so much more of Elsa. Right from the coronation, we get a song where there was once only a close-up, and so we get to understand why she's doing what she's doing a lot more, and I think it gets the audience on her side and in her head quicker.
I hope when people watch that story, whether on film or on stage, they get inspired by that. I certainly do, because I think it's particularly in the world we're living in right now, for people to be selfless, not selfish, is kind of important.
The imaginative revival of Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty's Once on This Island is bursting with vibrant colours, infectious rhythms and a whole lot of heart. The musical's incredible ensemble recently rocked Rainbow Bright looks and showed off their moves in an exclusive Broadway.com photo shoot with photographer Matthew Murphy. Take a look at the making of these eye-catching images.
It's check-in time at Encores. The 1989 musical Grand Hotel officially returns to the New York stage at City Center from March 21st through March 25th. We recently caught up with stars James Snyder, Brandon Uranowitz, Helena York, and more to learn about this production of the Robert Wright and George Forrest musical.
Sweet nectar, sherry, Campari, Scotch whiskey, chartreuse, a cognac, and absinthe frappé. For one more moment in a world gone cold and crashed, we'll take a glass together.
We are at the most expensive hotel in Europe, in Berlin, in the 1920s.
There were
6 or 7 characters from different walks that are all at very intense points in their life where they can either rise or plummet.
So we get a wonderful peek at what happens when all of these opulent, rich people really just are about to lose everything and are on the precipice of the world changing.
For me to take on Grand Hotel, it means the world to me. It was the first Broadway show I ever got to see, and so to get to do Grand Hotel now, after getting to grow up in this industry a bit now, and then now put forward my own take on it with my complete love for the original has been thrilling.
The stirring production intertwines the lives of a cast of eccentric characters through a series of fateful encounters as they whirl through the doors of the opulent Grand Hotel.
I play Baron Felix Amadeus Benvenuto von Geigen, a charming baron and a thief.
I play Flemchen, who arrives at the Grand Hotel as a typist for General Director Prizing, and she has dreams of Hollywood and of a better life.
The part of Elizaveta Grushinska, she's a ballerina who's in the age of the collapse in her career because she had the failure in her previous city, Amsterdam, on her tour, and then she wanted to escape the city and, of course, go to the fantastic Grand Hotel.
My character specifically has just found out that he's going to die very soon. And after living a sort of uneventful, unassuming life, has decided that he's going to cash everything in, come to the Grand Hotel and see what it means to live like the 1%, I guess.
I play Rafaela, and she is the attendant to the ballerina Grushinskaya. She has a secret that she has kept for a very, very, very long time.
My character, he owns through his wife's father a cotton mill that is going under and trying to get a merger with Boston. He's in a pickle.
The casting company told us that the interlocking storylines and sweeping score are what make Grand Hotel such a beloved musical.
What I love about all the characters is that all of us are in this situation in our lives, but every single character has such a great big want and is going through something, a large transition in their lives, so to speak.
The spectacular quality of it is it's actually an epic evening done very simply. And I've always loved that.
This is melodrama. This is everything is important. Time is running out, and love is huge. Everything's grand at the Grand Hotel.
Shem Bitterman's play The Stone Witch unites a world-renowned children's book writer and illustrator with a starving artist in hopes that the new talent will spark the famous scribe's next masterpiece. We chatted with Dan Laurier and the stars on their first day of New York rehearsals to get the scoop on the new work.
The Stone Witch is about a legendary, iconic children's book author, loosely based on sort of Maurice Sendak, who is having severe writer's block. He hasn't delivered what could be his last book in 12 years. And then you have this young children's book author who's sent up to help tease this story out of him.
And it deals basically with the creative process, like how hard it is to just come up with a whole new idea, a new thought, a new theme, and how do you get that out there? And when your creative juices dry up, how do you get them going again?
The theme of it really is how creativity can drive you mad. Shem Bitterman, our author, is an old friend, and they asked me if I was crazy enough to come and do it, and I said, yeah. Playing crazy is easy for me. It's fun for actors to play crazy.
According to the cast and creative team, the play's central theme focuses on the cost of creativity.
I think that the creative person pays a huge price in our society, sometimes in terms of the family that they sacrifice, sometimes in terms of certain pleasures. In the case of Simon, he forgoes a lot of that to nurture his genius. So I want the audience to feel a tremendous sympathy for him and the importance of really the sacrifice he's made.
The audience will hopefully will come away with as many questions about creativity and genius and relationships as they have answers, and that would be great.
You know, it's got that gravitas to it, that kernel. I think every creative person out in the audience is going to know exactly what we're talking about.
When we return, Chilina Kennedy treats us to a performance from Beautiful, the Carole King musical.
First things first, you need to get a ticket to Travesties. Tom Stoppard's London Smash is Broadway's newest must-see. This wild ride of a comedy has it all. Art, love, revolution, and the Tony Award for Best Play. Don't miss Travesties.
On March 14th, Chilina Kennedy celebrated her 1,000th performance playing music superstar Carole King in the Broadway smash Beautiful. To toast this remarkable milestone, we invited the Canadian charmer to stop by and talk about her Some Kind of Wonderful 3-year run.
Thank you for coming in. So good to see you.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You just hit like a crazy milestone. We have to talk about this. You have
did.
played Carole King 1,000 times.
Apparently.
I mean, more now. That was like, that already passed.
That was last week.
Is
I know,
that-
and that was like 1,004 or 5.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you see that number coming? Were you aware that it was a thing?
I was aware that it was in the vicinity. I couldn't remember when it actually was. I think my father and my mother were very, big on keeping track. But I was completely surprised. Like the cast brought out balloons and flowers, and they, at the end of the show, they made a big, Evan made a big speech, and I was so touched. It was really, really sweet.
I mean, you're like a Carol Channing. You're like one of those like iconic things now. Like, people come to New York, they see the Statue of Liberty, they see the Empire State Building, they see you as Carole King. I mean, what does it mean to you as an actor to find a role like this? And obviously it gives you great joy and it sort of fills you up, but what does it mean to find something that's clicked like this for you?
I just feel incredibly grateful and lucky. I mean, I don't think I've ever found a role that A, I've loved so much, and B, that I could sustain for such a long period of time. I mean, I think the longest run I ever did was Mamma Mia for 2.5 years on tour, but I didn't play the same role the entire time. And this one, it feels perfect. It feels great. It like you said, it fills me up, and the audiences love it, and it's got a really positive message, and I love my cast. I love everything about it.
I wonder, I'm sure when you first got the role, you were sort of like amazing to get to sort of really, dig into this music that everybody knows and loves and sort of to put your own sort of spin on it. But what is it like years into it to get to sing these songs, and do they still sort of live with you off stage, or are they less special now? Are they more of like your job, or do you still find moments in the music?
Oh, I still find lots of moments in the music. And going back and listening, I don't do it as often now because it's so much more in my body, but I love going back and listening to Carol's different recordings of certain songs that I do in the show, because I hear them differently now. And especially when I give it a little bit of space and I move away from it a little bit, and then I come back and I listen to, one of her legendary demos. Yeah. It changes it all. And then I hear somebody else singing one of her songs, and I hear a new, way to phrase it or whatever. It's fascinating. I liken it to a yoga practice. I say this a lot, but I really do believe it. It's sort of like, practicing any kind of yoga or thing that you do every day, like a meditation. You're a different person every time you come to the mat. It's the same group of poses, but you're a different human being. You have a different, set of, ideas and perspectives on the world and on yourself and on your body. And so I think when you play a role this long, it's just like a practice.
So you're here. I love to hear you sing. We have a piano. Would you mind singing us a Carole King standard today?
I sure will.
What are we going to get?
Natural Woman. Oh. Imagine you were like, no.
No, that's the one I want. Let's
Okay.
do that. Let's do that.
It's my favorite.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Looking out on the morning rain, I used to feel uninspired. And when I knew I'd have to face another day, Lord, it made me feel so tired. Before the day I met you, life was so unkind, but your love was the key to my peace of mind. 'Cause you make me feel, you make me feel, you make me feel like a natural woman. When my soul was in the lost and found, natural woman.
When we come back, a heartwarming performance from Frozen's Patti Murin.
First things first, you need to get a ticket to Travesties. Tom Stoppard's London Smash is Broadway's newest must-see. This wild ride of a comedy has it all. Art, love, revolution, and the Tony Award for Best Play. Don't miss Travesties.
Hi, this is Norm Lewis, and you're watching The Broadway.com show.
Thank you for watching The Broadway.com show.
We leave you with Patti Murin's gorgeous performance of the new song True Love from Frozen.
See you next week.
There's no escaping her, but now the dream is gone, because I spent a lifetime counting on